Yeah, it's your boy Champ, and this is the Champ is Here show.
What's going on, guys? It's MrLongchamp, your co-host.
Okay, and today we are talking about relationships.
Yeah, we had a few requests for that, especially nowadays. A lot of changes in relationships versus back in our day.
Yes, the relation, the, the passion, you know. So yes,
Tell us a little more what you think.
yeah, so relationships. What I wanted to touch on first is basically the different type of relationships there's out there. You have your committed relationships, guy, gal, talking, having a committed relationship, basically, having a certain amount of respect for each other, certain promises that you guys make for, to each other, moving forward. Where is it going? Is it going to be more committed as far as going to a marriage and whatnot? You have relationships where it's just a friendship, and all those capacities. Those are all different type of relationships.
I was
Just
actually
having a fuck friend, stuff like that. They're all relationships.
yeah. I was listening to radio the other day, and they were actually talking about relationships too, and they mentioned kind of like levels. That's kind of how I kind of looked at it too. Like when you're dating somebody, like when you first meet somebody, like kind of stages of where it goes to when from like just meeting the person to getting more serious. So you have like that stage where you're just talking. You kind of just meet the person, you still getting to know the person. So you probably could still be talking to other people. This probably could be maybe you just got out of a relationship too. So
Yeah, and we have a relationship. You're my brother.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mom, dad, whatever,
Yeah.
friends. They're all relationships.
Yeah, family relationships.
Yeah, work relationships. So I had this situation where a friend of mine, he's dealing with this young lady at the job, and they're sleeping with each other, and he's telling me he's not in a relationship with her. And I'm telling him, bro, you're in a relationship, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? So he's telling me, no, he's not in a relationship. Meanwhile, they're talking about kids. And I'm like, bro,
maybe not them kids, them having kids, but like them having kids.
Right.
To have kids themselves.
Correct. So in dealing with each other, you're building something, whether there's levels, whether it's at level 1 or if it's at level 10.
Exactly.
It's still a relationship.
Yeah. So then that next level would be like actually dating, like where you go, like try to get like a little more serious, and like you guys are being more exclusive, seeing each other more regularly.
Correct.
And then there's actual boyfriend, girlfriend. But some people can actually look at it. I feel like a lot of people view that differently now, especially nowadays.
Okay. So another thing I wanted to talk on is who you're attracting, before you even get into a relationship, because, I believe heavily in law of attraction. And so now you go into the clubs, you go out there and you see dudes wearing the jewelry, dripped out. I love it, it inspires me, when I go out, I like to look nice and what have you. So now you have these dudes wearing all this jewelry, and they hate the fact that, women are gold diggers. You have women, who are dressing, I believe, outstanding. You know what I mean? With the short shorts and all of that stuff, and then they upset if a dude is looking at them in a certain way, or they're getting the attention from several men or whatever, what have you, and they get upset. But you're using sexuality to attract people. You're using jewelry and money to attract people. So these are the things that you're gonna attract. You're putting that energy out. Exactly. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So you can't get mad if you're attracting the gold digger. You know what I'm saying to you? You can't get mad at that. So I think that's one aspect.
But not definitely personality as well. Sometimes it's things, the people you were around, the people you grew up around. You're around certain environments. Those are the kind of people you're gonna end up hanging out with. People who like to hang out by the park and play ball, they're usually gonna be cool with other ball players.
Okay.
People who like to hang out in the streets and get into trouble, deal drugs, things like that, will end up most likely being one of them. So.
Okay. I also want to bring attention to, I think, what really works well for me is astrology. I know I'm going crazy right now. A lot of people's like, whoa, astrology. Where is he going? I know. But again, man, know thyself. If you look into it, you go into it with an open mind, you'll see there's a lot of truth to it. So, me, I'm an example. I am an Aries, fire sign. The people who I'm compatible with are most likely are other fire signs and wind signs, because on an elemental level, wind strengthens fire.
Would you say that those are the signs that you're always mostly attracted to, though?
No, not necessarily, because I tend to notice that I'm also attracted to negative signs, which is our water and earth signs, because I feel like within those type of people there is an element of charm and mystique. You know what I mean? Because there's something about me that I probably lack, or it's in my subconscious that they express, and I am attracted to that. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So, and the people who I'm probably more compatible with are so much like me that I necessarily either don't see it or bump heads with them, because we have, strong personalities. So sometimes, you have your ideas, they have their ideas, and you're like, what are you talking about? You know what? Fall back, give me 50 feet, yeah, you know what I mean? Whereas, with a person that you're not compatible with, they may have a submissive or aggressive mentality that kind of meshes with yours, and
Right.
you know what I mean? So, the people, like I said, people who are outspoken, those type of people intrigue me. Crazy people intrigue me. I think they are hilarious and what have you. So, I think, astrology plays a big role.
Crazy.
Yeah, astrology plays a big role, and again, earth, water, earth with it. You know what I mean? So those two elements go great together. You know what I mean? So, check into that. I think that's great. It's something great to look into, Not saying that's the end all be all to everything, but I think it's a great navigational tool that you can use moving forward, when you're going, dealing with relationships,
It's a fact. I mean, I would say take it all with a grain of salt, especially because you should get to know yourself more. Once you know more about your sign, and you'll see the similarities that you have to your sign, and you'll see maybe certain things that can be different, which can be a little bit deeper, like in moon signs and things like that. And sometimes you can meet somebody and you can't just necessarily judge them based solely on their sign. It's good to still kind of get to know the person and find out things that more deeper things in their personality before you just base them solely off of that. Because you'll sometimes meet people who could be one sign, but their birthday may be like on the cusp, and they could have a lot of traits of a different sign. There's all those other different nuances kind of play a role. So
I think the best way, the best thing in relationships is, number one, know who you are, know yourself.
yeah.
That's the best way. Again, mind your business so you can mind your business. That's number one. So I think the number one best way to build a great relationship with everybody is, number one, build yourself up first. Then the next thing you can do is, then you can start building, once you have self-love, then you can start building relationships and passing that on to other people. And you can build different relationships to different capacities. Being if it's a friendship, if it's a work relationship, if it's something you want us, if it's a love interest or what have you. So that's number one. So love yourself first, then you can push out and give that out to everyone else, and don't be in denial of the situations that you're in, because then you start confusing yourself and start confusing other people and start having mixed messages, and then you can end up with a bad relationship.
Yeah, so actually, Kev, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about marriage? Like, what do you think?
Marriage. Marriage is, I believe, is a business move. I don't believe that people should be married because they love each other. I think that you should be together because you love each other. But when you're ready to join in, because when there's a merger in two companies, it's like a conglomerate. Your money's mixing in, everything's mixing in, your life history, everything's coming together. You know what I mean? So when you're coming in and you're marrying somebody, I believe that it needs to be the best business choice. Somebody that can help you financially, help you in status, help you grow, and then you can leave a legacy, because that's what children are. It's basically you're passing on that information onto them so they can grow on top of that. So
so you believe that like people should still be like with one person and get married? I was that's kind of what I meant to allude to what I was talking about earlier, with like people having like mixed ideas about what relationships are. Like a lot of people are in a lot more open relationships and could be with somebody for maybe a few years and then feel like, okay, things were great, but I think it's time to move on.
We're moving into a different time. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, so I don't necessarily know exactly, because I know that we're either moving into it or we're not exactly fully into it. So we're moving more into a masculine time, a masculine type of energy, and it's a time of knowing and knowledge, and people are changing in their concepts of what relationship is supposed to be. If you think of an Aquarius, they're rebellious and they want freedom. You know what I mean? So people don't necessarily want to be tied down and what have you. Listen, I think polygamy is dope. I think it's fire. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal view. As long as you're doing it responsible, as long as you're doing it safe, because
both parties are open with it. And okay
absolutely,
with it.
don't lie. Don't. All right, I was at a party one time, and I don't want to disclose this person's name, but I think that this dude was, very famous DJ, and young lady came up to him, and she was talking to him, and he's like, basically, yo, listen, man, I'm African, and the African culture, this is how we do, and she was on board, being like a kind of a sister wife, you know what I mean? And I thought that it was dope because, he was open and honest with her, and she told him, she knows what she was getting herself into, you know what I mean? So as long as you're open and honest, I think that's the number one thing. So if you can definitely believe in polygamy and still be in a committed relationship with one person, that's what that relationship entails. But if it changes, I think both parties needs to be privy to that change.
And I feel like sometimes you got to be careful. Those kind of situations can be messy. Because I feel like we were just talking about with the law of attraction, if you're someone who's promiscuous, the chances are that you're going to probably attract somebody else who's promiscuous. And if you're open to having, if you're hiding it, and you're comfortable hiding things from this person all the time, then who's not to say that they're not hiding things from you?
I mean, who's to say that you're open with them and they're still not hiding things from you? It's when you're opening Pandora's box, you don't know what you're going to get in the process.
That's 100%.
So,
never,
all right, so I hope that we touched up everything that we could on relationship, you know.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think.
And don't forget to hit that like or subscribe button. The Champ is Here show. Cheers.